Cheers, welcome to my channel. This is a bonus new moon tarot oracle reading for the month of April. And Taurus, you are the star of this astrological insight. If your sun sign is not Taurus, then we all have a little bit of Taurus in us. If you do have your birth chart, which house is Taurus in, that's where this energy will show up for you. This is a timely reading, meaning that if you're watching it at this time, it is the perfect time for you. Having said that, if it's been a while since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that could give you further clarity. Whoops, my cards are jumpy. My cat's jumpy. All right. That will give you further clarity as to your situation now. Wow, these cards are wanting to jump out of the deck here. All right, we're going to take the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck, and we do have the Queen of Cups. So the Queen of Cups is one of 4 queens in the minor arcana, and she represents cups of love. Now, she is considered to be the most maternal of all the queens in the deck. She sometimes represents the maternal line, so your mother, your grandmother, your great-grandmother down the line. She has this cup in her lap, and she is, it's almost like a trophy. There's a lid on it representing that she is full of unconditional love. So this is someone that generally is very kind and is, would be most likely to be in a traditional relationship. She would be someone that has, like the traditional values, like maybe even a stay-at-home mom that loves to be with her children and her grandchildren, if she has grandchildren, that kind of energy. So we're going to see. So this is the underlying energy for the entire reading, and now we're going to take the underlying energy for the internal forces, and we have the Empress. So this is strong energy. It's talking about a very maternal line, basically. I feel like this energy is definitely speaking of the divine feminine line. The Empress is all 4 queens rolled into one person from the minor arcana. So she has the qualities of the Queen of Cups. And also she's very discerning as the Queen of Swords. She is very intuitive as the Queen of Wands and creative. And also she is good with Pentacles. All right, so the Queen, or the Empress, is sitting on her throne, and the wheat around her feet here represents her ability to manifest at a very high level. Now she is, she puts plans into place. She decides, okay, I'm going to plant wheat. She'll pick the field where it's going to go, make sure that the soil is amended properly, if it needs fertilizing, etc. Pick the stones so that, and any rocks, so that when the equipment is being used in the seeding and in the harvest, that it doesn't wreck equipment. And then she just plants it at the best possible time and waits for nature to do its thing. And this is how she manifests. She doesn't worry about it. Nature always works for her. She's thought to be pregnant with possibility. And sometimes this actually can represent an actual pregnancy. We have the energy of the King of Cups coming in. So the King of Cups energy is representing, just like the Queen of Cups, this energy represents a really large capacity for love. He is the most traditional also of all the kings in the deck, and most likely to be in a traditional marriage. He has his right foot forward, so he's ready to offer a cup of love to someone. And he's out in the middle of this chaotic water here. Water in tarot represents emotions and volatile emotions, basically, here, and chaos, because it's very rough water. And so he has learned how to contain his emotions. So he's the most emotionally available king out of all the kings, and the most stable in matters of love, because he does have a good grip on his emotions. Now, if he's here, this could be representing that he wants to ask for a cup of love from the the Queen of Cups, and he might even just consider her to be his Empress. We'll see. Let's see what's going on here. Then we have, so this Empress is representing your internal forces, and your internal forces are what you do have control over. So you can't always control what other people do or say, but you can control whether you react to it or are you going to respond. And this energy is also talking about, the what ifs. Like, you'll know it's an internal force because you'll be asking the question, what if, oh my goodness, what if I do this? What if they do that? What if they do that? Then what if I have to do this? And can take you into a thinking loop that doesn't ever end. Are you having a good time there, Stella? Stella's job is to purr. A cat's purr raises the vibration to a very high level. It can actually lower blood pressure. I don't know if it's working right now. She's got happy feet, so she's going in circles here on my lap, which is making it a little bit challenging. But she'll calm down soon when she's in the zone. She's definitely doing her hard work here. Oh, so isn't this interesting? We have two kings, an empress, and a queen. So the King of Pentacles represents the energy of the pentacles, representing the element of earth. And this is talking about being able to bring your thoughts down to matter on the physical plane. The pentacles represent health, wealth, and happiness in the third dimensional world. Now, for a lot of people, this energy, it does represent, money is a big part of this, of course. And so the pentacle is represented by coin, but you could have all the money in the world and still not be, living the lifestyle that you want. So the pentacles are about lifestyle first and foremost, and money is a part of that. So the King of Pentacles is someone who is really respected for his financial acumen, like his business ability. He is most likely to he'll be at the top of his field, whatever that is. He could be in the banking system. If he is, he's high up. He could be someone who's a real estate agent. This is representing the element of earth. If he's a real estate agent, it would be for like high, like millionaire clients, that kind of properties. And he would be also, it could represent a mortgage broker, that kind of energy, a land developer, someone who's a builder, that kind of energy. This could be an entrepreneur who's very successful, a head financial advisor for a corporation. What else? A financial advisors, accountants, and if that was the case, they would be someone that would be a partner in a prestigious firm. So someone that's higher up is known and respected for their business acumen. And also, I just want to mention that there's grapes all over the robe of the King of Pentacles, because grapes are something that is hard to grow, and they represent luxury in the tarot. So it's luxury, and also being able to grow them and make money from them is considered a huge talent. So it's just talking about all the luxuries that money can bring you, and how it's take you to a different level. And so we have the Page of Wands here. The pages would work for the king and queen in the court, and they would be in the palace, and they would start from a very young age, around 7 to 14 years of age. They would be from the families in the surrounding area that were the higher class families, and they each have an element. There's 4 elements, and this is the element of fire. So the Page of Wands is when the pages show up, they represent an energy of communication and also information coming in. The pages each have their own element that they focused on, and this is the element of fire. And the wand, of course, is made of wood, because wood feeds fire. It's also from the tree, so this is representing the deep roots of the ancestors, and the offshoots here are representing the branches of the representing the descendants. And the pyramids in the background here represent the mysteries of the world. So this is a real, this is a very enthusiastic energy. This is representing action and passion. This is someone who loves adventure, and he's think of it, a young masculine energy under the age of 21. And he has a feather in his cap. He's ready to go and explore the world and get out there. The one thing about the Page of Wands, when his information comes in, sometimes you have to take it with a grain of salt, because, you know, he really, really admires his wand. He's looking up to it. And sometimes he's thinking, or quite often, he's thinking with his little head rather than his big head. In the old days, this would always be a male that would be delivering the information or the communication in person. But you know, these days we have so many ways of delivering communication, instant communication. We have like phone calls, we have text messages. It could be in a letter in the mail, documents coming in that way, an email. There could be someone messaging you on social media, or you even attending an event that you see posted on social media, and then running into someone that is the perfect person for you to find this information that you need, or the communication. Also, you can get a lot of, learn a lot about what's going on in the world just for 5 minutes a day. Just taking a look what's going on at the top of the pyramid with the leaders of the world. Whatever they're up to generally trickles down to the rest of us. And this energy, that if the like if the Page of Wands is doing a really good job, when he turns 21 and he can afford a horse, he might even be considered for knighthood. And so some sort of information is coming in about something you're passionate about. And then we have the Wheel of Fortune. So the Wheel of Fortune is 3 wheels actually turning on in one in synchronicity. This is a sign of really good fortune coming your way. If you've been going through any kind of hardship at all, there's not really a whole, there's a lot of characters in this reading. So we'll have to figure out who's who here in a little bit. But this is the past, the present, and the future coming together. And on one of these wheels are the Hebrew letters for the name of God, and they are tetragrammaton. A tetragrammaton is a sacred geometric symbol, and so representing perfect order. And so this is very close to the phi ratio. That if you take the letters of God and you put in geometria, they give an assigned value of number to each letter. And when they add it up and they put them in different combinations, they add it up to the phi ratio, 1.618, or very close to that. And the phi ratio can be seen in throughout nature. It's a kind of different boxes nesting within each other, and they're specifically in ratio to each other, and they form a specific pattern. So we have the golden spiral, which you can see in tornadoes and hurricanes. You can see it in water going down the drain. You can see it in pine cones, in pineapples, you know, in any of those fruits that are circular, in seashells. And then we have the golden ratio, which represents a certain combination, again, that makes up the human face. For example, like the distance from the top of the head down to the eyebrows, and the eyebrows to the bottom of the nose, and the nose to the bottom of the chin. And then you can take the head, the upper body, the lower body, and even the limbs, the upper limbs, the lower limbs, and then the hands, the feet, the fingers, and the toes. All of these present in about the same ratio, and they can be broken down to that phi ratio. So what this is talking about is, you can see it in fruits and vegetables. You can see it when you go out in nature. Once you notice this, you can't unnotice it. It's like really actually quite calming for me. Like if I go for a walk in the nature and I'll see like, oh, there really is perfect order on the earth, even though at times it seems like very chaotic. And gosh, we've been going through some very chaotic times lately, so it's comforting. to know that really at its core, the world is and the universe are very organized. It's not as chaotic as we may think it is. And so the truth, there's a gift of truth coming in, the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. When you have the truth, then you're way more of it, likely to make really strong choices and be rewarded for those choices. This is a gift coming in from the divine, the Most High, as well as the universe collaborating. So perhaps there's something that once you learn the truth about, it's really going to advance your life. We do have the moon. We do have this is what this reading is about, the new moon. So the new moon's coming out to represent herself. So the moon is talking about the energy on April the 17th. This moon is moving into Aries, and it's been an interesting time for us because there's been 6 planets have moved into Aries, and now the moon is going to, and it's all been in the last few months. These are big planets: Neptune, Saturn, Jupiter. There's Mercury, which is about communication, Venus, which is about love, all moving into the sign of Aries. And I was watching one person that was talking about this, an astronomer, and they were saying that this is the likelihood of this ever happening again would be like probably in about the next 800 years. So it's quite a huge event, like for all, because Aries is the baby of the zodiac, basically the very first sign. The energy is all about new. So we're finding a lot of aces coming out representing that new energy. And what it's basically saying is you can't do things the same old way that you were doing them before. You're going to have to adapt to a lot of new energy coming in. And the Aries new moon is talking about it's basically saying if you've been thinking about taking action, now is a good time to take action. You want to be new and innovative. Like you don't want to be focusing on the same old shift. Also being very assertive without being abrasive. And it's a really good time for brand new projects, like getting them off the ground, and also discovering how courageous you really are when it comes to that. And this is also, it's important at this time to be authentic. With the AI energy out there, a lot of people are afraid that they're going to lose their, positions at work. And it's because like the AI seems to be they say it's so intelligent, whatever. But I'm noticing a lot of cracks in the AI already. And I think it has no soul. And you can tell, like, when you start to know what to look for, you can tell what's AI and what's not. And so I feel like it's kind of, it has its uses. It can, for research, it can be valuable. But the thing is, you always have to double and triple check it. So what they're finding is by using it, you have to always be checking, because AI gets a lot of information wrong. And so it's kind of that kind of energy where we have to be like, I don't know, it's kind of tricky energy somewhat, and the old ways that we were doing things just may not be working anymore, and that's just like we're going to have to adapt. And so the moon is talking in general about illusions, hidden secrets coming out. This lobster wants to continue on his destined path, but there's this wolf and this dog howling at the moon right at the path here. So he's trying to gather the courage to get out there and make himself vulnerable. He wants to stay in between these two pillars. This is talking about the full moon, the new moon, and the sun. So we just had eclipse season on top of the energy that was with all the planets moving into the sign of Aries. We had, on February 17th, we had an eclipse. And again on March 3rd, eclipses are like, I've been explaining it like potpourri simmering on the back stove, on the back burner of your stove. You notice it's there, but it's kind of just quietly simmering. And this is the energy, like eclipses quite often, when you look back 6 months later, you'll notice, wow, I made a lot of changes. And that could be for the better or worse, depending on your situation. But at the time, it doesn't seem like things are changing that much, but they are. And so we're going to just check in here. So this is how you are identifying yourself right now. You're in the energy of the King of Cups. So this is a masculine energy, whether you're female or male, that wants to offer a cup of love to someone. This can also represent having love for doing something or being something, but quite often with the love, and this could represent, though, romantic love first and foremost, especially when we have both the King and the Queen of Cups out. We have the energy here of abundance and self-worth. And so you see yourself as being a very abundant person that's intelligent about business. Taurus is the baby of the, signs of the element of earth. But even as a baby, it's the toddler energy. What I mean by that is the energy is learning the give and take. A lot of toddlers are absolutely lovable and they enjoy the comforts of life. But if you ask them to share, sometimes they'll throw a temper tantrum. And when they do, the symbol for Taurus is the bull. Or the steer, and it's like a bull in a china shop, basically, when a toddler throws a tantrum because they don't get what they want, or they have to share what they have and they don't want to. And so this is talking about a lot of lessons in learning about the give and take. Taurus is the most comfortable, of course, when they have the comforts of life, and it's important to them to feel safe, just like it would be for any toddler too. And this energy is an essence. It's not, I'm not saying you are a toddler or you're immature. It's just a nature that you have about it. Like Tauruses are very, can be very stubborn, but they're very lovable at the same time. And then we have the energy of communication from your early life. So it looks like you were enthusiastic and curious and wanting to get out there. And this is your emotional foundation. So I feel like your emotional foundation right now is maybe not as strong as you would like it. There is some sort of truth or a hidden illusion or something that's bothering you, it feels like. But the wheel is starting to turn in your favor for this to come out. And I feel like it might be about wanting to offer this cup of love. I'm not sure what the Empress energy has to do with it. There could be a pregnancy, and it could be about that. That could be what the energy, like perhaps the Queen is pregnant, and so it's kind of like, oh, we better get married kind of energy, or make a commitment, a stronger commitment. This could be hidden, it could be an illusion, a secret that's coming out, basically. We do have the Fool starting out on a new journey, which would definitely represent that energy. So the external forces are talking about a new cycle coming in. That's the energy I was feeling with this energy here. Perhaps if your life is a little chaotic right now, it's going to come back into order. The Fool starts off at the 0 point and begins his journey as a leap of faith. To start off on a new cycle in stronger energy than here. So I feel like there's some sort of energy around, like this is daily routine and patterns and that, and I just feel like there could be an energy. You might be the King of Cups energy. You might be thinking about offering a cup of marriage to someone who possibly is pregnant. That's the energy I'm picking up. Doesn't have to be, but could be. And this is talking about, okay, so this is talking about expansion in your life. So again, it's talking about someone who's standing on the edge of change, and they're looking into the distant horizon and wondering, this is water. It looks like sand because the sun is shining on it, but he's wondering, there's ships sailing by, and he's thinking, man, I'd like to hop on one of those ships and go on an adventure. But possibly the Empress energy is pregnant, and the Queen of Cups, and so it's talking about maybe thinking about this. Quite often this can represent someone who's leaving being a couple and going forward as a single person, or moving into the situation of having a couple, expansion of your life through bringing someone else in and becoming a couple. It can go either way here. This is talking also about Quite often for me, this card is talking about leaving a couplehood and going single. So it could be that for some reason, because this card's coming up. And so this is talking about the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is a never-ending nightmare. It's kind of an energy where you feel like there's no way out of a situation. So it could be maybe you don't really consider, like you weren't planning this, and it's kind of like, is this really what I wanted, what I do? And it's like for some reason I'm picking up like the 9 months of how long it takes a baby, from conception to birth kind of energy. A lot of Aries energy here. So this is like a never-ending nightmare that you're trying to make a decision about. The swords represent your mental intelligence, your discipline of your mind, your ability to discipline your mind. And so this person could be waking up in bed and like thinking, oh, I gotta tell my family and everything. Or this could be representative of someone who stepped out on a relationship, went on a, thinking with their little head, and ended up pregnant. So it could be, this could be your energy is like that you maybe are pregnant, and maybe you are in a relationship with the King of Cups, but you gave into temptation at some point and ended up in a third-party relationship, and now you're pregnant, and you don't think it's the king's baby. You think it's the person you stepped out with. So it could have something to do with that. We'll see. Let's see what's going on. We have soulmates. So this is interesting. So this is talking about transition in this area. So this energy is changing with this new cycle coming in. It's and it's talking about two soulmates coming together. So this could even represent that you already are in a relationship with the King of Cups and maybe stepped out and are pregnant and thinking about leaving that relationship because you want to be with someone that you met that you consider your soulmate. That feels stronger actually now that this card came in. This could even represent your parents and not wanting to embarrass them or that kind of energy. They could be very public or, something to do with that. That could be the truth for some of you. Like being in a position where your parents, you have to tell them, hey, I'm pregnant. That kind of energy, that happens. And so then we have, maybe you feel that you've met your soulmate. And so this is talking about two soulmates coming together. And this energy is, a soul connection where people decided before they came here that they were going to get together and empower each other to stay on their journey, basically. And so this energy is talking about, quite often your soulmate would be someone that you wouldn't normally date. Not your normal type kind of energy. They quite often are opposites, but when they get together, they even though they could have very opposite lifestyles or opposite cultures, etc., they tend to have had a lot of experiences the same at the same ages. And this is in your position of higher learning. All right, then we have, cutthroat energy, having to battle with other people. Or this can represent sometimes you and three different versions of yourself. This can represent, you having to battle with someone. I'm not really picking up that energy so much, though. I feel like this is more a battle within yourself. So sometimes this card can be representing a battle within yourself of your will and your mind, basically. So we have, three different versions of ourselves. We do have the subconscious mind, which is formed by the time you are around, 6 or 7 years old. And your subconscious mind is developed very young. Like when you're a baby, you're like a sponge and you just pick up everything from your environment. It gets imprinted on you, as well as the values and the thoughts of the people that are in charge of your care. They could tell you, oh, you were like this or you were like that when you were a baby because you don't remember it. But it's not really your memories, it's their memories and who they felt that you were. So the subconscious mind is the one we tend to rely on when we get triggered, or we're excited, or we're upset or about something. And it's probably the least reliable, but it's so heavily imprinted on us that it's the thoughts that first come up in a situation. And then we have the unconscious mind, which would be, if you consider yourself as a human being with a soul, but your soul considers, from the soul's perspective, you are a soul traveling in a human body as your vehicle to navigate through Earth and get your shift done. And if the soul's needs aren't being met, it can become very loud and be arguing, you know, with your subconscious mind. And then we also have your conscious mind. And this is like, okay, I was there yesterday, I did that, I remember it, I have a memory of what I did, I was there, I totally am conscious of it. And so when these three minds can come together and plug into your heart, that's when you're going after your authentic desires. And perhaps that's what this is saying, that, you know, it's an awkward situation, but this is what you authentically want in your life. And what does the moon say? To be your authentic self. So there we go. And so this is talking about, in this position, this is talking about blessings coming in. Or sorry, your career and reputation. So yeah, you might be concerned even about being able to work, or, you know, having the money or whatever to be able to support a child. We have new energy coming in here again. So we have the truth, the whole truth and nothing but the truth. And now we have another ace coming out, which is a gift of passion for new discovery. So basically it's like, you know, loosen up, chill out. This is a blessing. Babies always are a blessing if that's the case. And if not, it could be that you're really considering going into business with someone in some sort of line of work that is like new for you, but you really are enthusiastic about it and really looking forward to it. So that would be like that type of energy, having the passion to move forward with that. And then we have the devil coming in. So there was some sort of temptation here. I feel like that's what it's saying. There was, and this energy, it's interesting because to be tempted by your soulmate, is this a true soulmate, or is this someone you just think is your soulmate? That's the question. So let's see. There are two lovers here. They're yoked to each other, and they're chained to Saturn's box. The devil is haunched between them, saying this is just lust. And but they feel like they're soulmates. So we're going to cover the devil. We're not going to get the truth from the devil. So I always cover it with the next card up. I want to see, the devil always sends in a minion to do his dirty work. So let's see who he sends in, or what is this about, that type of energy. Okay, now that you know what you know, you're willing to fight for it and stand on your conviction. So I feel that the nightmare energy is in transition. This is your higher learning. So perhaps you've learned a lot about yourself from this soulmate energy. And that's the course that you want to take, and you're passionate about it. And you know what you know, and that's moving forward. And I feel like that would be the energy of, I feel like this is more the energy of your parents' kind of energy. And it might be very embarrassing for them if you're pregnant. They might be public figures, that kind of energy. Maybe it's kind of like you don't want to have to tell them. Some families can get pretty upset about that. But now that you know what you know, if you know you're pregnant and you're going to have to stand on your conviction, they might want you to give the baby up or some sort of energy like that. And that might be your fear. Other people's actions regarding what is here. And so, but now that you know what you know, you're willing to fight for what you want here. And I feel like that's kind of the energy. The temptation, I feel, was like getting pregnant, basically, you know, and giving into that energy. So it's really interesting. It could be several ways that this turns up. It could be that you were already married and that this has happened. This could be an energy of your partner doing that, and then that freeing you up to you know, go in a different direction that would be stronger. Once the truth comes out, if your partner has gotten someone pregnant and they're leaving, they want to leave and be with them, then it gives you the opportunity to be able to, once you know the truth, to move forward in your own way, and perhaps that's when you meet the soulmate. So there's all sorts of different ways that this could be playing out. Just take what resonates for you and leave the rest. Don't try and make it fit. If it doesn't fit, it doesn't fit. So sometimes that happens in readings. Parts of it fits, other parts don't. This could also be the story of your parents and you maybe don't even know it, and that's coming out. You know, I feel like there definitely is some energy around this that's about this. If you are happy with this reading at this point, and okay, like, you know whether you're, well, maybe you don't, maybe you need to go take a pregnancy test or something, or, you know, take a look into it. So give this a like and comment if you've enjoyed it. I really would appreciate it. It helps build my channel. Consider subscribing. You're more than welcome. And I'm going to clarify for those of you who want to have clarification here. All right, let's see what's going on. So I'm using my Oracle Tales from the Vector, TAILS, Tales from the Vector, and it is something I started in 2007, and in 2020 I completed the 64th painting. So now I'm working on bringing it out there. I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com, and I have a gallery with all 64 of the paintings listed there. So you can take a look at it there, and I will, in the description box below. The cards that I'm using right now are the numbers on them represent the numbers that of the paintings as they're listed in my gallery. I'm working on bringing the Oracle out. I started it in 2007, and so I've been working on it for a long time, but it's from the Intergalactic Federation of Light, and there's a lot of dragons from the future. So, and they all come from a different part of the world. I have a lot of information written up, but it's a lot different when you are using a deck. And it's so interesting, this card almost always wants to come out first with this deck. It's about transition. And so there's definitely some sort of transition coming in. And remember, this is having a huge capacity for love. So if you're in that position, I think that if it's your mother that you're trying to tell this to, she would secretly probably be very happy to have a grandchild if it's that energy. And then we have this saying, okay, as far as if you are the King of Cups and you're thinking about offering a cup of love to the Queen or to the Empress, this is saying you feel that she's your Empress. Maybe you also consider her to be your soulmate. So this energy could just be talking about the love that you have for her and the transition it's going to make in your life. Because these two are, this is the only Queen and King that we have out, and I feel like that definitely would represent a couple or wanting to. We do have a King here. So let's look here. We have the All-Star. I feel that between these two kings, it would be this king that is wanting, if this isn't your parents, then it could be the King of Pentacles wanting to get together with the Empress. So this is talking about all-star energy. This would be very Taurus energy though. So just so you know, being in that energy, that you could be the Empress energy, and this could represent a King of Cups wanting to offer a cup of love. Sometimes too, the kings, if because you're an Empress, the kings, when there's more than one king and there's an Empress involved, sometimes it talks about the kings working towards being an emperor so that they can offer you know, a cup of love to the Empress. So they might already have the qualities of two of the kings, and they just have two more to go. Becoming an emperor or empress in the tarot is about life experience and learning from your mistakes and the past, so that you can always be improving yourself. So this is talking about having to use your third eye at this time would be a good idea. Using your intuition and your also your logic to bring harmony to the situation. And then we have, and it's interesting because it is again like this energy of like wanting to speak something, but maybe maybe the king's just really nervous that the empress is going to say no. And then we have the world here. So this is interesting because it's sitting on this King of Pentacles, and the world represents when a cycle comes to an end. So it could represent two kings going for both wanting to have something to do with the Empress. And maybe maybe you've been dating someone and he's the King of Pentacles, being an Empress, that would fit in. And then you meet someone that you feel is your soulmate and you get pregnant. And now this energy is happening like that. There could be some sort of energy, or it could be vice versa, but there could be some sort of energy around that, because this is when the cycle ends and a new one begins. We've got the Fool here. So, and it's talking about the passionate Page of Wands energy. So, I mean, you don't have to be under 21 here. This could just be someone who feels that way, if you know what I mean. So this is talking about moving out of the Pisces energy, the senior executive authority energy, or moving into that energy. But I feel this is talking about Neptune, having that planet having just moved. Neptune is, Pisces is ruled by Neptune, and Neptune was in Pisces, and so is Saturn, both ruling the Pisces energy. They were both in Pisces, and towards the end of January, the beginning of February, there's boom, when they moved into, no, did I say the end of February, the beginning of March, sorry, is when Saturn moved in to join Neptune. And this is that very different energy coming in. And I feel like there could be a possibility around that. And don't forget, the moon is leaving Pisces and moving into Aries as well on the 17th there. So this new moon energy might bring a lot of truth in the situation if you're like struggling to find that. I just wanted to mention that when horoscope signs come in my general collective readings like this, I'm not talking about individuals, I'm talking about the signs themselves. We can learn from all of the signs. If you get your birth chart done, you probably have most of the signs in your birth chart somewhere in a house somewhere. And sometimes not all of them, but quite often we have several or most. And we can learn from them. And that's kind of my angle that I'm taking with this. And so we have the Hierophant coming in, and this is talking about traditional structure. It's sitting on the Wheel of Fortune. So, that's talking also about this energy here, maybe leaving one relationship to be in another, that kind of energy. We've got the Hermit. And so this is like maybe you went and you meditated and, took some time to isolate yourself so that you could be with God and figure out, what am I going to do here? You could be like, and it could be like you have suspicions of something like that going on with your partner. And so you want the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help you God. That's the energy. There could be a scotoma. So scotoma is just when there's a blind spot, basically. We have little scotomas in our eyes, but we also can have little scotomas in our life. And sometimes they can be quite big. So this is talking about that there's something maybe that you see other people can't see, or something that other people see that you can't. And there might be some hidden aspects. And it's coming out. Maybe this energy, you'll know a lot more by the time that, the new moon will feel the energy for 3 days before and 3 days after. It's on the 17th. This reading, I think it's the 12th today or the 13th. I didn't check, actually. I had such a busy day already today. Degradation. So this is talking about the external forces. So yes, the external forces are talking about, you're not saying what if this happens at this point, you're saying what the EF happened, what the F happened. So this could be taking the shame off you. So it's interesting, degradation. Some people, like in the old days in particular, and still in some families and in some cultures, to be pregnant out of wedlock, or if you're, married to someone else, I mean, that's a serious thing. It can cause a lot of issues. And then we have the Scorpio energy coming in, which is about the sexual gladiator of the horoscope. And so this energy could be talking, definitely this is coming in your partnership. So this temptation energy, I feel someone may have stepped out, and I do feel that I just keep getting a pregnancy that's, but look at this, the Emperor is now on top of that energy. So I do feel that maybe both these kings represent someone who recognizes the Empress energy in this person, and they are working on being an emperor themselves. And so this is talking about total performance. The Emperor is about the ultimate in performance. He's the alpha male energy. So this is really talking about an Empress and an Emperor getting together, or an Empress and an Emperor to be. This is talking about falling and failing in love. And so this is falling and failing in love as a matter of I. And I feel like what that is saying is, like, if you get with your soulmate, it means that you've been following your path. Quit being so silly. Oh my goodness. What's your problem? You want to be fed. You're going to have to wait 5 more minutes. So the falling star energy is talking about your heart chakra opening. And maybe you didn't intend for this to happen, but when you met your soulmate, it was just like it changed. And so the heart chakra energy is saying falling and failing in love is a matter of I. So you have to love yourself enough to follow, to do what's best for you, basically. We have the High Priestess energy, and this is talking about using your intuition. It's in the career and reputation. So this could be something to do with, I don't know, perhaps you met at work or something like that, and that could be part of the problem right there. Maybe this is your boss or something like that, which is usually really kind of iffy energy. But, if it's your soulmate, things could work out. There could be this could be a lot of like gossip and chatter about this, and maybe it's kind of like an energy of, again, it's saying use your intuition. The High Priestess is very joyful because she uses her intuition, and she does it at the cycles of the moon. So it could be that type of energy coming through. I feel like it's talking about maybe this isn't traditionally how you would do things, and maybe your family, as I said, some cultures this would be a really taboo, but maybe you just decided you're breaking the taboo and you're not doing the traditional structure, and you're breaking free of that box and you're going in the route you want. It's almost like that Romeo and Juliet energy. And then we have the Aquarius energy. So this is talking about experimenting and having a passion for it. So wanting to have to go in a different direction from what you normally would. And that's not unusual when you have a soulmate. They quite often are the opposite of what you normally would, someone you normally would date or that you would be attracted to. And we have the Hangman here. So this is saying you're standing on your conviction. You feel like you're balanced in that. This is talking about, it's kind of the same energy as the Hermit, but it's like hanging from the tree of knowledge and looking at it from every perspective. And so that until the Hangman hangs from the tree of knowledge upside down to gain a totally different perspective from the one everyday perspective. and getting balance in that, and making the decision. But I feel like you feel that definitely this is your soulmate. You notice the sky is the same color here, and the same for this card and for the moon. So I feel like that kind of, and also here, the transition and in love. I do feel like there's some sort of element. I'm getting a lot of different, there's so many different scenarios that this could be, but basically, if you're thinking, I might be pregnant, you might be. If your intuition is telling you, you might be, or if your intuition is telling you that your partner, my partner looks a little different these days, that kind of energy. Trust your intuition and look into it. So I do hope you've enjoyed this reading. Please do give it a like and comment if you have. It does help me build my channel. I really appreciate it. And also I will be back with another reading for you. That one will be for the end of the month of April, astrologically. And of course, I have my daily reading every day. All right. Thank you. Bye for now.